Um, I'm assuming this is a discovery phase where you're just exploring different the concept and trying to gather more data. So with a survey like that, when you're talking to users in the beginning or trying to find just user needs or market, it's better to focus on qualitative rather than quantitative because with quantitative you need like a sample size to get like accurate representative data. So the numbers will be generally small, I'm assuming. Now, again, this information is all from different sources I've read online on designing surveys, and there's a book also. I can't remember the name, but it was recommended if you want to learn about surveys in like when you're conducting user research. So it's better to try to shoot for more qualitative answers because that will help you dial into user needs, and then you take going on. You can actually start with those responses or insights you gain from those responses when talking to actual users or interviewing people, because there you can get much more richer insights. That said, with a survey like this, I think it's a little bit long, I suppose, because by the end, what will happen? A lot of people will just not finish the survey. They will just stop answering and they'll just not submit it before reaching the end. So it is just that is risk factor is there, but it's fine, I suppose, because it's not. It's just multiple choice, so that is fine. Now, with survey questions like this, there are some issues because some things you have to keep in mind is users. You have to see what users do and not what users say. And a lot of times with survey questions also, and when interviewing users, uh, they will answer in ways that they want you to they believe you want to hear. So you have to kind of be very, very careful, and that risk is almost always there. That you cannot completely negate that risk, but you can minimize it in some ways. So, see, starting with this, when you ask something like, "Do you enjoy reading?" Most people will say yes because we want to believe that we enjoy reading or we read. So they will. It will not be just even if it's an anonymous survey. People will answer uh, because we kind of don't remember our past behavior very accurately. So like any questions which ask users to think about the past or recollect the past, they will tend to uh, misrepresent uh, in a way. So when you ask like, do you enjoy reading? The way the question is phrased is, oh, I will think that of course I enjoy reading, even though I don't get, and then I will rationalize users that we enjoy reading, but we don't. I don't really have the time actually. But I will click yes, even though it might be sometimes, but I will tend to click yes. Now, do you think reading should be a necessary habit? Again, this will not give you any useful data to work with because everyone will. I think you will see in your responses. There's very few people who will select no or maybe. So that whole question essentially becomes because everyone thinks reading is. It's like asking people if education is important. Everyone will say yes. Um, now third question, which one do you prefer, reading digital books or physical books? Uh, it's good, like it's the way they're phrased is good, but people might prefer digital for other reasons also, because in the answer, if I select this, they are much easier to access. There might be other reasons for using digital rather than just accessibility. And also what will happen is users will understand the phrase. What does it mean when you say much easier to access? So they will interpret it in their own ways, which might be different than the way you phrased the statement. But essentially, the answer is binary, so it's fine, digital or paper. But there should also be an option that people who prefer both or they prefer paper, someone like me, but digital again is easier to access. So, this is good. I mean, what do you usually read? Again, uh, it's usually much better to ask users what was the last thing you read, and then they could select from that, or what were the last three things that you read. Is it articles, or like select all that apply? That would give you a better. And because we have imperfect memories, so when you say what do you usually read, people might think they read a lot of pro- productivity or self-help books, but they might actually spend most of their time reading when you accurately measure it in terms of time. It might be articles. What happens is that will give you inaccurate data, which will actually your assumptions for designing your product will get affected because of that. Again, same thing. How often do you read? I will say every day, and you will get most people will try to push. If they read once a week, they will say I read a few times a week. If people read a few times a week, they will say I read every day. So they will kind of have a they people do. It's like in the past also surveys have to account for that. So when you get these answers, you have to kind of assume that they are overstating how often they read. Again, same thing here. How much do you spend reading per day? Because what happens is users, people will read in blocks of time, one article here, one few chapters here, or maybe some descriptions or some technical reading here. So it's very hard to quantify it. It's like impossible to quantify. But let's assume again, this will the numbers might be inflated, they might not be inflated, but you have to kind of assume that there will be bias in the users when they answer these. Now, when you talk about what mental blocks do you come across, uh, which is fine, because when you read the different options, you kind of people taking the survey will kind of figure out. But again, it would be much simpler to, instead of using what mental blocks do you come across, because the language kind of will prime their responses to your survey and questions. So you can just like what blocks, what stops you from starting a reading habit, or because again, most people will not read the second part of the question, that you're asking specifically about starting a reading habit, and not about like, oh, I want to read more, but what is stopping you? Again, same thing, article or video that people prefer different at different times. Same thing, instead of having this answer, and most people will leave it blank or like just be lazy to type in. So multiple selection would be better. A checkboxes would be better here, because people prefer different things at different times. Podcasts are not here. And again, this will everyone will, I think you will get disproportionate number of yeses, because it's just like a assumption that reading is supposed to be a positive habit. The fact that you do it or do not do it, again, this will see what happens is this is this survey question depends on the self-awareness or honesty of the person taking the survey. We like to believe that we complete books and articles, even though I may just have skipped through the second half of the book or the article. But again, it is pretty difficult to. But one thing I will ask is, see, first answer response has the option book and article. Second one only talks about a book, and third one it's only an article. So it again, there is no binary data you can get from it. Mm, because books and articles are, maybe it could be split into two questions, so you get information about books and articles depending on what product you're planning on developing, what solution you are trying to develop. Again, do you feel bad is it's a leading question, because you are leading the survey. So this question is good, but it's better to ask it in a interview context when talking to user, because then you get much better and much higher quality answers. In fact, because it's like yes, no is fine. It's good to start off with, but if I were to reword it, I would like lay it out like you can't complete reading an article. Let's say you make a hypothetical scenario and you have to leave it midway. Do you have any negative emotions associated with it? And then maybe have a few checkbox options. And again, there are many reasons why people have to stop, can't complete reading an article. Sometimes it is external, sometimes it is internal, sometimes because the article wasn't good. So the data will be kind of, it's good to start with, but you want to triangulate with the data with talking to actual people. Again, what if user had to select two of these? I get data from Medium articles and on the internet, but all of them is fine. But this would be better as checkboxes instead of radio buttons. And again, how would you manage articles you find? So when you ask how would you manage, you're asking about future behavior, which essentially it's like useless, which is the responses will be like they will give you the best answer, the most politically correct answer usually in this context. Now, when you say share to Pocket, you have to understand you are asking a very specialized. Not everyone will know that Pocket is an app which you use to store articles. I use Pocket, but again, most people will not know. So maybe rephrase it to share to uh, uh, third party viewer or organizer, such as, and in the brackets you can ask such as Pocket, read it later, Instapaper, I don't know if that is there, feed reader, something like that. Again, now you are coming from books to articles, so I suppose your solution is something that has to do with organizing information and articles and stuff they come across. All right. Are you able to read out there? No heavy backlogs. I think this is like true for everyone. And have you employed any manual method to start and sustain a reading habit? Um, See, there is an implicit implication in that survey question that it is someone who is answering this uh, is not a reader right now, but they are trying to start a reading habit. It's kind of implied, it's not there. Uh, so it's like there should be a preceding question. Kind of the survey should be designed such that to get accurate answers. That have you Are you struggling to start or maintain a reading habit? And if they click yes, then you ask this something like this. And again, when you use a phrase like manual method, it's very manual method. I don't know what it means. It means, I think it means, or I'll assume it means an organizational system or habit or some framework to do that. Do you feel positive after reading an article or acquiring information? You will get disproportionately yes answers, but it will not give you good answers. Like it's not useful to you as someone who is designing the survey. So everyone will say, yeah, we feel positive after reading an article. And do you think reading can be improved? Again, like Steve Jobs said, right? Users don't know what they want until you give it to them. So it's like unless the users are designers, or it's like as this survey is dealing with experts in a certain domain or whatever, maybe the same data that you want, whether they are up for technological intervention or a solution to their reading issue, then maybe it could be rephrased in that way to kind of point to that. again, you are asking someone, in your opinion, what would be the most important aspect that could improve reading habits? It's like asking their opinion. It might be informed, it might not be informed. A better thing to do is, if you were able to improve your reading habits or start, uh, what was the most important thing you did, or what were the three most important things you did? uh, Asking about their past kind of actual behavior, because past behavior is a much better predictor of future behavior. And again, if you do use any app to bookmark and read articles later, and this would be better as a checkbox, because people might be using multiple ones. So I'll select, and so I won't submit because I already took the test before. And I'm sorry for like being so long, but I thought it would be a good study in example format for the group, to see how surveys can be designed and using this example. All right, cheers.